for you are working full time, have a family, and you're also trying to grow a business, I guarantee you're exhausted. And today I'm speaking to those of you who are pouring into everyone else, but you're quietly trying to grow something for yourself outside of the Zoom calls and the Microsoft Teams and the lunch boxes. Let's talk about how you deal with that juggle of life without dropping the ball on yourself. If you will see me for the first time, welcome. My name is Rachel Charles. I'm a corporate career coach, speaker and consultant, and I've lived that juggle, and I now support overwhelmed professionals to make that transition from their 9 to 5 into successful businesses of their dreams without burnout. So let's be clear about what your schedule looks like. You're not just managing expectations from your manager and your boss, but you're also managing your inner critic. There can be the constant guilt of doing your 9 to 5 and then coming home to your family and feeling guilty for not putting enough in on your business, or putting time in on your business and then feeling guilty for not being there enough for your children. Your diary is such that you have hardly any clear spaces in it, and the mental load you carry to remember everything for everyone else can really get a lot. And then what happens is your dream starts being pushed to one side, put on the back burner, and it's just placed for last. I remember there were times when I was working on my business and having to be there for my family and working full time. And I'm a night owl, so I'd be working way into the early hours of the morning. By the time I got a couple of hours sleep to wake up and help get the boys ready for school and drop them off, I'd be running on fumes by 11 a.m. And the truth is, the ambition to do something different, to grow or set up a business outside of your full-time job and your family, is never going to go away. And even if you don't hear it as loudly as you have before, it's going to be gnawing away in the back of your mind. So let's look at 5 ways where you can start managing that juggle and start working smarter rather than harder. Number 1, start micro scheduling, not just your time, but also your energy. There are going to be certain times during the day when you have different energy levels. Start utilizing that a bit more. And sometimes where we get overwhelmed is where we try to put big chunks of time into it and think, okay, I haven't worked on it for a long time, I need to have like a solid 3 to 4 hour stint. Sometimes just 20 minutes of pure focused energy is what's needed to move your business ever slowly forward. And number 2, closely related to number 1, is creating sacred space. So create, even if it's an hour a day or an hour a week, this is your sacred time to work on your business. And guard and respect that time the same way that you would respect the time if it was your manager who told you to work on a project for an hour. If a manager put a meeting in your diary, you would most times rearrange everything else outside of that. It's not usually the meeting that you would move. The same way you are the CEO in your business and you've scheduled time to work on your business, treat that time with the same respect. So that even if you don't get much else done in your business each week, you know that's where you're going to move the dial a little bit on your business and make sure that you're keeping it alive. Number 3, involve your family in your dream. Don't just make it a solo project. They're the ones who are missing out on some of the time with you when you're elbow deep and knee deep in your business. So make them part of it as well. Have your kids be part of choosing the logo or the brand colors or ideas for whatever it is that your business is about. Make sure that you're including your partner in it as well. When it comes to celebrating in the future what your business is going to be like, those are the people who you're going to be envisioning around you. Have them make it part of their dream as well by having them understand why you're working so much in it and how they stand to benefit. Make it a family affair rather than a solo adventure. Number 4, many times we speak about work-life balance. We know that work-life balance is a little bit of a myth, because if you think about the way something balances, think about scales. In order for it to balance, there's always movement. And in this movement, even though the movement might be so small, the movement is profound, because in order for it to be balancing, something is going up and something is going down. So rather than looking for balance, think about your rhythm. Think about your journey as somebody who's walking a tightrope. And when you're walking that tightrope, what are you doing? You're finding that balance, but you're also finding your rhythm. You might not be a tightrope walker, but I know you've seen them. And as they're walking, there might be a gust of wind. What do? They have to steady themselves, and then they keep going. And what you're seeing is a rhythm in how they're walking. It isn't an easy walk. There's danger on both sides. Anything can happen, but they keep going and they find their rhythm. That's how we have to start looking at managing your business, managing your family, and managing your 9 to 5. There are going to be weeks where you may have to slow down on one of them. There are going to be weeks where you may have to take a step back to try to balance yourself. There are weeks where you'll be able to walk forward in one of them. You may do more in your business or more with your family or more with work, but find a rhythm that works for you. When you are managing all of these different things, it isn't about giving equal time to each one. It's about being intentional with your presence and your focus, regardless of which one you happen to be focusing on at that time. And number 5, get help. There is absolutely no way that I'd be able to sit here speaking to you, no longer having to negotiate annual leave with my organization because now I've left it and I'm working for myself, if I didn't get help. The first thing I did when I decided that I had had enough and I needed to be able to work for myself, I wanted the freedom to move around and work from anywhere in the world, was to get a coach. The same way this isn't a solo adventure, and it would be great to have your family backing behind you and you're going to explain, this is your dream and what you want to do and how they will benefit from it, is the same way it's not a solo adventure, and you need others around you who you don't have to explain it to. And that's why having a coach, having an accountability group, having an accountability partner, networking and finding like-minded people who you do not have to explain it to, other people who get it, who are on the same journey as you, is so important to help you through this. In the very early days of starting my business, before I even figured out how it was that I was going to make that transition, I found myself in different accountability groups, and it was really great to be able to go to these groups. The one that I went to for the longest, we would meet, I think, the last Friday of every month, and I was sitting in a room of other women who were going through similar with me. Some of them also had young children, some of them were also working full time, and being able to speak openly in that room and be vulnerable was really helpful and really empowering, because number one, it made me realize that I'm not alone in this journey. There were others who understood and were going through similar to me, and number two, I was able to walk away with tips and tricks and strategies on how to move forward and stay motivated and focused. And it isn't always easy to find those spaces, and that's why I've created a Facebook group. And if you'd like to be a part of that, there's a link in the description. You can come along, find other people who are on this same journey as you. And talking about doing it alone, I spoke about the first thing that I did when I knew that I was serious and I wanted to move forward in setting up my business was to get into an accountability group. The second thing I did that really lit the fire under me, that really got me to put a strategic plan in place, that really got me laser focused about what I needed to do to get out and how I could manage myself emotionally, physically, and strategically in making that transition, was to get a coach. The accountability group was great, but there will be times when you have to speak about your business in so much detail that you won't be able to do that in an accountability group, that you need a coach on a one-on-one that you can speak to about every single step of your plan in detail, that you can call up and say, what do I do now? Or I'm feeling like this, or this doesn't seem to be working. When you're trying to juggle your family, your business, work, and just life, and you want to find that rhythm, getting a coach helps immensely. So if this resonated with you and those 5 points are points that you know you can work on, this video is definitely for you. And I'm here to say that you are not falling behind. You're not doing it wrong. You are doing the best you can with what you have. And remember, you do not have to do this alone. It's harder alone, and it takes so much longer doing it alone. So I'd love to hear from you. Comment below with which of those balls, whether it's your 9 to 5, managing your family, or setting up your own business? Which of those balls are you most afraid of dropping? Let's have a talk about it. And if you'd like to have a chat about finding that balance or managing that rhythm, find my assessment below and book yourself in for a clarity call. The most important thing to remember is that even though you're juggling these 3 different large areas, you're not making a choice about which one you're going to focus on. It's about creating a life that holds everything that's a priority to you. So thanks for watching, and until the next video, bye.